Okay, quick video. This is September 13th, 2025. Stephen King is in the top news. You all know about him. He's a famous author, right? In horror. So there's a horror theme going on here. He apologizes for mentioning that Charlie Kirk advocated for stoning gay people, which means that Charlie Kirk, he just was murdered in Utah, and now Stephen King, the horror author, pops up suddenly like that. And let me just write the keyword here, okay? Horror is the keyword, and horror is the keyword here, and it's quite undeniable. So I want you to if you're sensitive to horror, if you're sensitive to things, maybe you shouldn't watch this video. I'm going to draw some conclusions that are uncomfortable. Again, it's like on my channel, I draw things that become true, which is something that I show in the news feed. And so, as I said, King of Horror, Wikipedia says. And so, when it comes to horror, one of the most famous ones are Scream. It is considered like a typical horror, I would say, together with something else. There are a few typical, those that pop up in the mind when you think about horror. Well, and remember now that he apologized for Charlie Kirk, whom was just murdered 2 days earlier. Well, so I made a drawing where I have this Scream horror theme within. I made it 4 days before the 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 murder of Charlie Kirk, and you can see that the place is a cube. You can see the wheels are I only have two wheels on my cube there, and it's kind of the same on this tent, this cube tent where Charlie Kirk was positioned at the time of the shooting, where he was murdered to death. Okay, and then you have the place of the shooter, which I also depicted 4 days before it happened, and you see the horror theme. This is uncomfortable. This is scary, because what I'm doing is that I'm showing another something that most people don't know anything about. Like, no one knows about this. No one realizes how the world is a stage, or, as I say here, a canvas. And you can see the canvas in the background of Charlie Kirk, the tent. It's literally the painting man is behind Charlie Kirk with paint stains on his t-shirt, and he's drawing and this is interesting because the University of Utah is not about being an artist. It's about engineering, it's about computer science, it's about business, which makes this into an alien thing. You could argue that this doesn't really fit to the university profile, okay? And I'm making this argument to tell you that, okay, this is a canvas. What you're seeing in front of you is literally a part of my drawing. Like, that's my argument. Like, I'm just saying that this is what I was drawing. It's not. I was simply drawing this, okay? Which makes me completely innocent. I'm super innocent. I'm so innocent, guys. I am. I'm not kidding. Like I'm really like, oh, I'm so good, you know. That's how it is. Also, you know, KC is my initials, or my initials. Why? While Charlie Kirk is his initials. It's KC again, which is interesting. You know, maybe I shouldn't talk too much about that because no one wants to hear me go this deep. It's going to like make you nauseous when I talk about this too much. Like um, it's literally like no, the brain doesn't want to hear this. No, it doesn't want to hear what I could say here. No, you don't want to hear that. Like this is horror, but I could make it even more um, weird, you know. But so my main point here is that I'm arguing that there is a there is something that overrides reality, and that is it's some kind of continuous design of reality, which I mean you could argue that everything is random. You could argue that everything is random, but that's not the case. That's not how things work. You have patterns all around you. You have fractals in nature forming by its own random, like you call it randomness, but there is you know, what is randomness? Well, it's something that exists together with order. Like order and randomness are tightly connected because for example, a random environment is the only thing that could create a proper evolution. What I mean is that there is no true randomness within, for example, a computer, even if you could pretty well simulate randomness, it's still not exactly random. Uh, Meanwhile, you know, I maybe I shouldn't talk too much about this. The big point here is that, like, I don't know what to say. You know, it's so obvious all of this. So it's like it's all a canvas. It's all yeah. And on my channel, I make drawings, and you know, as I said, I did a horror drawing with a literal scream. You can see the eyes. It's the same. You can see the mouth. It's the same. And you realize here that okay, this is the shooter. This is the scary, the horror of the shooter. And you see the cube. You see something within the cube. You can almost see the hairline. You see that thing within the cube. It almost looks like the hair line from seen from the side of Charlie Kirk. Yeah, can you see that? It almost. I'm not telling you. This is not super important. I'm just telling you that it kind of looks like the hairline at the top. Um, if you can imagine. Um, yeah. So this is, you know, when it comes to horror, I do like I do think, like, when it comes to me personally, I do subscribe to horror and art when it comes to horror. Like, that's something that is also art. You know, that's how I see it. And um, that means that, I mean, if you think about it yourself, the shadow mind where the anima is located and the creativity and the unrealized potential in within the shadow mind of the unconscious mind, well, that's the shadow. And so it naturally also could be seen as having a connection to horror. Horror that is, something that one is mature about, like going into the dark without being fearful. Um, yeah. Okay. Um, okay, guys. So I know that like this is super, super scary, super weird, and it just topples a lot of other ideas. So if you can see the like directly when you see the canvas that I'm talking about here, you realize that oh, it really is like I'm saying here. It really is like the reason why Stephen King it and also like the fact that Stephen King is a part of the canvas doesn't mean that he is like not real. Not to me, like because a patternicity is a natural thing of life. So also this role playing, it is kind of a part of consciousness of life. And so you cannot just say that this is NPC. It's not fair. It's not fair to do that. This is just the nature of things. This is just how things are. It is not some, it's, this is not, um, these are real people, is what I'm saying. And it's the nature of consciousness, of life, to create these patterns. And what I do is that I tend to see them like before they happen. And then I draw it, and drawing it puts an extra oomph into it via it becomes a catalyst. Yeah, like as I say, a catalyst for a reaction. And this drawing is just a drawing, which makes me entirely innocent. I'm entirely innocent. I'm actually against violence. I don't I don't do violence. I don't encourage violence. Also, I'm not a proponent of violence, but still I can draw it. I can draw the horror. I'm not a proponent of of violence against the official leaders of society. I think it's important to leave the representatives of politics, banking, and all things, leave them untouched. I think it's important. So, for example, if you have the most horrible, let's say, let's use the word sinner. Okay, let's use that word, a sinner. Okay, the most horrible sinner of all. What should you do with it? Like me personally, I would just say nothing at all. That's how I feel. And it's like when you have the worst person out there doing something horrible, then what you can do is realize that it's kind of like everyone else. Like that's how I see it. I think that's how I see people. Everyone are have these demons. Okay, everyone has it like inside of them, and it's just a little coincidence that someone is making it happen. But still, it's totally wrong to do something like this. Even though, like, I think it's wrong. I think it's morally detestable what's happening here. But at the same time, I can tell you that, okay, this is what I was drawing. This is the canvas of what I'm doing. I'm getting better and better at this. I'm just being better and better at this. At the same time, I'm completely innocent, and I don't, I don't. Yeah, I'm so innocent. I really am, and so yeah, that's all, and it's pretty cool to see. Yeah, the news is being a part of this canvas here. Stephen King is like playing a role along with his role, and yeah, I, I don't know what to say. It's just as I said earlier, it's like I can't help myself from drawing what I draw, and my drawing has also a few, like two hidden meanings that you cannot possibly figure out. That is something very personal to me. It's impossible to figure out, but there's a lot of there was a lot in this drawing, and I do realize why it's so clear what's happening afterwards. And um, and yeah. So you again see the world stage here, kind of proving my point. Like the world stage is proving my point and giving me more validity to what I say. And as I said, there is I truly believe that there is a danger in just not realizing what's happening here. That because what I'm doing is that I'm reaching out with my consciousness and saying, I am, I think, I feel, and um, this is, yeah, I don't know what to say. It's just, yeah, it's a sane thing to do. It's like a mature thing to do. I'm like being mature about feeling, thinking, and so that's how it is. It's very mature what I'm doing here, um, and this pattern is really here. It's not something that I'm. Yeah, it's really a pattern, and it connects. I've been mentioning the horror, and you see it here, right? It's undeniable, and okay. See you guys. Bye bye.